To start with, print out the picture, transfer it to a clean page. Roll out your fondant, so about a ½ centimeter thick, and then place the stencil over the fondant. Start outlining the moon with red paint dipped in a little bit of water. Once you have outlined the moon, start outlining the pumpkin, both on the outsides and the insides. Once you have done that, you can remove the stencil. Start painting the background with red. So dip the brush in a little bit of water and then take some red paint and start painting the background. Also the bits in the pumpkin. Once you've done that, with some brown paint and water, cover the pumpkin. This is just to give a first layer of paint to the pumpkin and allow the red paint to dry. Once you've done that, the red paint has had time to dry, so you can cover it with a second layer of red. Be careful not to use too much water. Then you can start painting the pumpkin black. So with black paint and a little bit of water, start covering the pumpkin in black. Don't worry if it's not completely black, you will add another layer later on. Now you can make some accent to the small parts with some yellow and white. You can make the eyes stand out, and then with some red, like on the picture. And then you can blend that in. Always when blending in, make sure your paintbrush doesn't have paint. And then you can do the same with the mouth, with adding some yellow and some white, and then red. So you want to have the picture in front of you all the time, so you can see how it looks on the picture and then follow the picture. Now unfortunately my camera stopped filming, but what I did, I added some white accent on the pumpkin, and then I left it to dry overnight. So this is on the second day, and I'm starting with adding some more white yellowish accents on the pumpkin, where on the picture is showing some lighter parts, and then I'm blending that in with a dry brush. So always when you're blending in, don't add any extra paint on the brush, just blend it in with a dry brush. And then I'm adding some red accents and blending them in lightly. And some more red. So again, this is a creative process. You can add as much as you want or as little as you want. Then I'm blending it in again with a dry brush. And because the base is dry, it's not coming off so easily as if I would have painted that on the same day. Or you can just give it a little bit of more time, so not just a couple of minutes, but so 5 minutes would probably be enough. Then I'm adding some accent to the stalk of the pumpkin and outlining with some more white. So to emphasize the shades. Same with the mouth to give it a 3D look. Some more white. And then blending it in. If the brush is too dry, you can take a little bit of water and then blend it in with some water. And I want to add a little bit more red. Now that it's dried and I can see there's not enough, I'm adding a little bit more to emphasize the red parts. And then some black. I'm adding some black to the parts where it was still quite white, and so that the parts I've blended in will blend in nicely. So especially on the eyes, around the eyes and the mouth, you want to add some black so the lines will be straighter and they will stand out more if they're dark. I'm using a smaller brush for the details. Also yesterday I added some white on the background, as you can see in the picture. Unfortunately I didn't film that, but you can see how I've done it from the picture, so you can do that as well. Once you've blended everything in, you can again emphasize some parts with some red color and some white. Now that I've done everything else, I'm painting the bats. Start with my stencil again and a wet brush with black paint. So I'm placing them on the places where I want them to be. I'm making 2 big ones and then 2 medium-sized ones. I found that the smallest one was very difficult to cut out from the paper, so I decided to paint that free-handed. And then I'm just filling in the bats. So the outlines that I've painted through the stencil, I'm just filling those in with black paint and using a small paintbrush. Again, this is a first layer, so you can add another layer on top if you're not completely satisfied with the black color. Just leave it to dry and then add another layer. So switch to an even smaller brush with the smallest bat, and then I added some parts to the other bats. And now I wanted to add something else because the picture was on black background, so I wanted to add some black on the edges. So I thought that would emphasize the picture. You can do this or you can leave this out if you want. and then just cut out the picture using a sharp knife. So cutting those white bits of fondant around. Then I just wanted to add a little bit of black on the parts that didn't cut out perfectly. I hope you liked this tutorial. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.